Morning all, it's Tuesday 5th of March, so we'll go through some charts and have a look where we're sitting. It's been a few days since my last recording, so we'll get into the charts, see what we can find. We'll start with Bitcoin, of course. Interesting little area, we're stuck in a bit of a trap, bit of a zone, but as you can see over the last few months we've made a triple top here now, and we've broken down past below the daily 50 MA with a significant bearish candle. So I believe these two moves here are quite significant. We're definitely not ready to get rid of the bears and push up higher, start making higher lows. We have actually made a higher low here on the daily, so you could possibly technically say that that's the start of a trend change, but the fact that we haven't been able to break above 4,100 and also this longer term trend line here is extremely significant. So we've got a little way to go yet. And as far as short-term trades, we're going to have to look at lower time frames, but price action is very messy. So for me, for what I'm seeing and what I'm looking at the moment, we've still got quite a bit of support to get through before we can head to previous lows and possibly lower. But I think, yeah, the bears are certainly definitely in charge, and the daily 50 MA has been quite well respected there for some time now, all the way back to September time 2018. So we'll have a look at the 4 hour now, see where we're sitting. Gives a bit better look at what support and resistance is in the way. And this is what we've got here. We've popped out the top of this triangle pattern here, so a break and retest. That there was a really nice break and retest of this area and somewhat the EMA there, but we failed to push through and start making a newer high. We've come back now, we're sort of floating around and testing this trend line again, 3,600 level. So this area here is significant support. I don't really want to be taking shorts now to be trading into that zone. We could quite easily just go sideways here for a number of days or weeks like we have done previously. I think that's what will happen. If we do break 3,600, we could see a sharp move to the downside. I do think we're going to head lower, but we need to do that based on TA and confirmation of levels breaking. So shorting now on a longer term trade isn't the way to go. We quite easily do a Bart Simpson here and get spiked out, head a bit higher. The 1 hour chart, not too much to see. That was our move there yesterday. Pretty solid move, but not really tradable. It's really just a guess and gamble catching that move, and if you did catch it, you probably jumped in midway through one of those candles. So for people that trade much shorter time frames, there's possibly some decent TA or something there that you might have caught, but to me that's not tradable. Up here was pretty quick and sharp. People that caught that short, well done. It was pretty slick and yeah, pretty quick move. So that's Bitcoin. Not really too much there to trade just for now. Got to be cautious. We'll switch over to Ethereum, see what we've got here. Ethereum on the daily. Ethereum and Bitcoin are moving pretty well in sync. I think Ethereum is actually leading the way as far as price action goes to a certain degree. But same deal here, the daily run is quite extended with no pullback, but we have closed below the daily 50 MA. But as you can see, it's not been respected as well as the Bitcoin daily 50 MA. So where do I see this going? I think we're going to head down and at least meet up with this trend line here that we've formed. 4 hour chart. So if we get a pullback here up to the 4 hour 50, that could possibly give us a good area or a good buy zone to trade down to the next support level, about 120. Shorting now, there's no reason to short now. We need to enter trades on a pullback. We've got to be disciplined, got to wait. Jumping in now, we could easily just head up higher and keep going. We don't really know. We haven't got any confirmation, no decent price action, no patterns to trade out of. Just got to wait for possibly a fib pullback, rejection of an EMA, something substantial that we can trade. The 1 hour chart. This support here is pretty subjective. It's not overly clean, so it could actually be more of a zone down here lower or up here where I've actually got it marked in. So at the moment we've just rejected it, having a move up after a strong move down. So pullback, rejection of the 1 hour 50 or 4 hour 50 to head lower. So I think there's a short in there coming. Just got to wait for it. Bitcoin Cash, not really a great deal to see. I won't even look at the dailies, not enough data on the Bitmex chart. Just really choppy and sideways, nothing there to trade. That's an exhausted candle, so it could quite easily pull back. So that would really go in line with Ethereum. If Bitcoin just Bart Simpsons and spikes, that'll go with it. Very hard to trade Bitcoin Cash. The 1 hour shows this support and resistance zone a lot better, but we've also got areas in here that we need to be aware of. It's just a choppy mess. Those spikes and wicks, they're just going to take you out of leverage positions. So I think we'll be sitting on the sidelines with Bitcoin Cash for a while now until we can get some sort of decent momentum, and that'll probably happen when Bitcoin makes up its mind. Litecoin, we'll have a quick look at the daily. I was quite interested in a short because made a triple top here, probably even say a small head and shoulders, but we haven't fully broken down yet on the lower time frames. I won't worry about the 4 hour, but the 1 hour here is what I was looking at. Had a reasonably clean rising wedge, only a couple touches there, but we had a good breakdown here, and what I wanted to see, there wasn't enough risk reward to take this breakout and trade to the 1 hour 50 EMA, so what I wanted to see was a break and retest, because what actually happened, and I'm glad we didn't take the breakout, was we got a rejection there and then we found support on the 1 hour 50. So we did finally break, but we didn't get a retest to head lower, and in fact what actually happened was this 200 EMA here is the 4 hour 50. That's a pretty significant rejection there, and now we're holding the 4 hour 50 EMA. So we really need to let this break and retest the 4 hour 50 now and trade to the next level, but then we're going to run into possible risk reward to trade lower. So it's become a little bit messy. I do think it's going to head lower, but it's just not broken down and clear yet. We need to really break this trend line here so we can get a good move down to this horizontal support and resistance. So Litecoin's not on the radar just yet. If it actually breaks this horizontal level here and gets above this peak here, above 0.013, it could very well head a lot higher, because it's quite bullish on the daily chart. Let's look at Bitmex. So that's only a mild support resistance level there. It's only got a couple of touches, so it's not overly significant, but it has certainly found it as resistance here. But if it does pop that top there, it's quite a decent move up higher, and as you can see, it's been quite bullish now for a little while. But I do suspect at least a pullback down to the daily 50 before it has another crack at that resistance level. So Litecoin's on the sidelines too, just for now. EOS I do actually like for a short. It's had quite a strong run up of late. Let's just have a look at the daily on the Binance chart. So this level here is quite significant. We did break it, but now we've popped back below it and broken down. So I think a move down to the daily 50 MA is quite an easy move. It's just a matter of getting an entry. But from there I wouldn't try and trade through that. It is starting to look bullish, but this horizontal resistance level here is significant. We've got to break back above that before we can start heading higher. So if we do enter EOS, it will just be a little short-term trade. I'll show you the 1 hour. This is what I'm looking at. A really nice rejection of this horizontal level here, this previous low, and the 1 hour 50 EMA. I'll be looking to take that just down to this level here. It's only an 8% move, but we can probably get about 10% leverage in there. That's an 80% move. Pretty simple move. The daily 50 MA would approximately be about there as well. So that would be it. In and out if we can get a nice entry. I won't rush it. We want it to come up a bit higher first. So that's the one on my main watch list just for now. Ripple. Ripple's a bit messy. I won't look at the lower time frames, just the daily. A little bit like Bitcoin Cash, pretty hard to trade because we're getting lots of spikes to the upside. So if you want to enter a short, now that we've crossed this significant horizontal level here, it looks like it's just going to glide down lower to the next decent support level, which will be down here. But to enter a short, we're likely just to get taken out by a few of these spikes that seem to happen every few days. It's a tough one. I'm not really prepared to trade it because we need a decent flag, pattern, pennant, something decent to trade out of. I don't want to just enter a short and hope that it keeps gliding our way. Just going to end up handing our money over. ADA, show you the daily. I had a possible inverse head and shoulders penciled in, but it never failed to break this level here and the neckline. So looks like we're going to come down, test the previous left shoulder, and could have easily quite head back to previous lows. This one will probably move in line with Bitcoin as well. RSI is quite oversold, and that's an exhaustive candle there, so it does need a bit of a pullback. What have we got here? It's going to be interesting to see how far this pulls back. Let's draw a fib in here. It's going to be, I'm not quite sure where to put the top of our fib. We could start from the top of this run here, or we could possibly start from about here. Let's do that. So pullback here, which we've nearly completed to the 0.5 fib and horizontal support and resistance here. Could be a good area for a short, but we're going to run into this previous low here, which doesn't give us much risk reward. If we do break that, we can head down lower here, which is a decent move. I think that'll happen, but I think that just really depends on how deep this pullback goes. Could very well go higher than the 1 hour 50 EMA, so a little bit of patience on this one. I don't like this setup quite as much as EOS, but it's definitely on the watch list. Tron, just had news that Tether is going to build or move over to the Tron platform, hence the move in the last 24 hours, but it does look quite bearish overall. Has found some support on the daily on the Binance chart though. It's actually a pretty good support level, and that daily candle is a pretty nice rejection. So could keep an eye on that. That could push up a bit higher before it wants to have another leg down and try and break this horizontal support level. So no shorts on that one just yet. Could actually bounce. Not much on the 1 hour. Not much at all. Alright, that's it for analysis. Pretty messy, pretty choppy. I think we just need to be patient, let Bitcoin do its thing. I think Ethereum could give us a trade setup, and EOS I'm looking at to go short, hopefully in the next day or two. So they're probably the main two I'm looking at. Bitcoin is the key, as always, we all know that, but it's stuck in a bit of a spot. It's getting to the point now where we just want it to make up its mind, make a sharp move so we can trade it. These tight little ranges, especially in the 1 hour, trying to trade through that, you're probably just going to end up losing your money. So got to be patient, guys. I just want to remind you, those guys that were with us in October, we had similar price action to this, and it was just choppy and sideways for a long time. And I think it was nearly 4 weeks we didn't have a trade, and people got a little bit antsy, a little bit worried that we weren't making trades, missing opportunities. But when a good opportunity came, we took it, and we maintained our monthly average income for that period. So based on the last couple of months, I want to get back to that sort of trading, be a lot more patient, just wait for a setup. So be prepared just to wait for a week or 2 or 3 or 4, or as long as we need to for a trade. I'll get much better trade setups than I have been the last few weeks. So we're getting there. It won't stay like this forever. Hopefully we'll get some trading opportunities soon.